Listen up, all readers. It's that time of month, one of our favorite times. Let's welcome in the owner of the BookMark at Neptune Beach, Rona Brinlee. You got us through winter, if you wanted to call it winter with all that warm weather. But we're ready for some great new spring reading.
We are, and the publishers, though, they're up north, remember, so they still think it's winter. So I realized when I put this group together that they're a little dark, a little humor, but mysterious and a lot of dead people, so there you go.
Always find some great books. So you've got a whole slew of new books for folks, so a lot of folks are ready to get some new books here in our new season. So what do you got?
Time to read.
We'll start with
the London Seance Society. This is in the 1870s, and there's a woman who's a famous spiritualist, and what she does is she contacts dead victims of murder so they can tell them who killed them.
Oh my gosh.
So she's trying to solve crimes. And she partners with another woman who's trying to figure out what happened to her sister, and they go to London to the Seance Society, and that's all men. And they find out that there's lots of fraud going on, the least of which is lying about that they're contacting dead people, and then they become the target of, oh, what's going to happen now?
Yeah, wow. In a great setting in London for sure.
London, that's for you. I did London for you. There you go. And then this one, this is Rebecca Mackay. I have some questions for you. And so this is a woman who in college, her roommate was murdered, and she's put that behind her. She doesn't want to think about it, but now she's been invited back actually to a boarding school and to give a talk about what she does, which is make podcasts. So she has to be thinking about this again. So she has the students do a podcast on what happened in this murder, and the guy who's in jail probably didn't do it.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's suspenseful. These are thrillers.
They are suspenseful, and they're dead bodies, but they're always, you know, good twists and everything to them. The kind worth saving, which implies that everybody is not worth saving, so that's kind of depressing. But Peter Swanson is a great mystery author. He has lots of twists and turns, and what he does really is he reveals the dark side of people and things you can't imagine that they're thinking. This is a woman who he's met before, who hires him to find out if her husband is cheating on her. And he remembers her from when he was a high school teacher and there was a shooting in the high school. And now, when he's starting to investigate her husband, he goes to a house that has a for sale sign on it, and there are 2 dead bodies inside. And he thinks she's involved in all these things in the past and the present, and it all comes back. And so while he's supposed to be investigating the husband, now he's investigating the wife. And what's he going to find out?
I want to know.
I know. Well, you know, you got to know. That's right. You got to read it. And a little nonfiction, but also somewhat of a mystery. Empress of the Nile. This is about a woman who, remember, in 1960 they started building the Aswan Dam.
Yes, I do.
And they were worried that it was going to flood all these wonderful temples, and she worked very hard to make sure that they were saved, block by block. And she was the first woman to be able to do that. And she got Nasser and de Gaulle and even Kennedy to participate and give money and support her so that she could save the temples in Egypt.
That's more my speed. I think that kind of book, I would read that for sure.
That's a good mystery. And the things that are at risk are buildings, not people. So there you go. But important buildings. They have cultural history.
Oh, yes. I need to still visit. I'm ready to go.
Okay. You got a passport?
Yeah. Have you been there?
I have not.
Okay, so I guess we'll have to read this before we go.
Okay, we'll be prepared. Then we have 3 great events. The first one is Harlan Coben, who's famous. You read his books. He's New York Times #1. His books are all on Netflix series, and he's coming on the 18th, and we're doing a special kind of event. It's going to be big, so we're having it at the studio next to us, and it's going to be, quote, ticketed. Your ticket is you buy a book from us, you get in for free.
Oh, that's a good deal.
I know, so it is a hell of a good deal, and I will find you. In 20 pages, he's got you hooked. You know, a guy's in prison. He was accused and convicted of murdering his 3-year-old child. 5 years later, his sister-in-law comes with a picture, and there's a kid in there who looks just like his son, and he's convinced his son is not dead. And he has to get out of prison, escape, and try and go find him.
Interesting. Okay.
So we're off and running in typical Harlan Coben style.
We're ready.
Another author who's coming, Aaron Slaughter, A Manual for How to Love Us, is about women who've lost different things, whether through death or breakups or just some kind of a loss. And it's connected short stories, and they're beautifully written because this is her debut story collection, but she's got books of poetry. So you know she knows how to use her words and create these beautiful images and sentences.
So some really beautiful reading there.
Beautiful reading. And a little bit of humor. It sounds dark, but there's some humor. And this one's interesting because this is not a new book, Battle for the Big Top by Les Standiford, but I didn't know this, but Florida has an embassy basically in our nation's capital called the Florida House. And they welcome visitors from everywhere to show them how wonderful our state is. And they have a book club.
I had no idea.
I know, and so they pick 4 books a year, and this is one of them because it's about the circus in Florida, and P.T. Barnum and Bailey and all of the insanity that went on, the business relations, and Barnum said, you have to have an elephant to entertain people, and how you get an elephant in those days was not so easy.
Probably,
now
right?
We don't have a circus because of the elephants, really. So he's going to come as part of this Florida Book Club that the whole state is involved in. So not a new book, but a great book, and an interesting combination of what's going on with our state.
You've done it again. You do it every time. I'm just amazed at what you find here, and you get to read books and meet wonderful people at your bookstore.
I know, it's a charmed life, isn't it?
It is.
Well, come join us. We'd love to have you.
I will see you soon for sure.
Sounds
we'll have
great.
some coffee. And of course, head to our website for more on all these great books and more on the Bookmark, and that's firstcoastliving.net.